Yo, so this is the Screechers Wild Season 5 products. This is the first one. Now, if you remember Screechers Wild, it was originally called Opti-Morphs years ago. But in 2018, they localized it to Screechers Wild, and they released it in America. But because of the whole legal BS with Spin Master and Bakugan and all that stuff, they stopped selling them here in the US and other countries. But Russia and Ukraine and, of course, Asia still got them. So, but yeah, things have changed a lot. We literally go from like combinable vehicles to vehicles with blasters and lights and everything. So it's pretty sick. And it also reminds me of Bay Warrior Cyborg, which is kind of why I got this, because it's literally the perfect concept. It's what Hasbro should have done instead of trying to make more Shogun Steel based models, like with the ripcord and the spinner, because that's basically what the Bay Warrior Cyborg toy line was supposed to be until it got canceled, because Bay Raiders and Beyblade Shogun Steel flopped. But aside that, yeah, and as you can see, yes, that is Xander, and he's grown up. This is the 5th season, as I mentioned, and this is his new partner, Gaylor. We're going to be looking at some of the different Screechers as well, and including Ringo's, and the new rivals, as you can also kind of see them here. They also changed the blasters in terms of re-releases throughout some of the waves and all that. So, I'm not going to get too deep into like the differences. I'm just going to look at the first one and also just talk about what they changed. So, yeah. As you can see here, mine does not have the reversible gimmick on my Gaylor, because it may have to do something with quality concerns, but I don't fully know. But my Sonic Blade and Hellstorm, which, Hellstorm belongs to Ringo, and Sonic Blade belongs to the new rival Damo, but, they still have the reversible gimmick in them, but I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. So, this is the version that removes the reversible gimmick from Gaylor, so you have to use your hand to reset instead of the lever on the blaster. Here's the back of the box. And here's the other models you can get from the first wave. And yeah. And here's the top as well. I may be the first person in the States to review the later products, because I know a lot of people reviewed the Season 1 stuff, but that's because it was only localized here at most. Not many people really cared for this. Other people really just cared for Bakugan or Mech Hard, but, I think it's nice to be the first one to look at this obscure stuff, so, let's just get into it. So here are the Screechers, their discs, and the cards. So this is Gaylor. This is what the back looks like. Hellstorm. Sonic Blade. If you're wondering what Ringo and Damo looks like, Ringo he looks almost similar to his original design, but a lot, also really different. Like his hairstyle is changed, and he still has the red on it. He still has the band-aid on his cheek, which keeps him a little iconic still. And Damo, he just looks like that edgy anime rival, But he also kind of looks like a tokusatsu character, but I'm not really into all that stuff, but he definitely has like the clothing of one of those characters. But yeah. So what these all do is that, so they'll hit the disc with the magnetic fronts they got, and then they'll flip 360 in the air. Now with this blaster, you can make things a little bit more convenient for yourself. You can load up the discs here, and you can pull the lever to reverse the transformation, and you can launch them both. So yeah. So this is what it looks like. This is what the discs look like. So, they basically represent the motifs of the Screechers. Sonic Blade being a mantis, and Gaylor being based off of a falcon or eagle, and Hellstorm being based off of a tiger. And here are the power-up discs, basically. And then basically just represents their attacks and all that. And this is what they look like all on the back. Same with these here. Nothing new. And then they all come with these standard gray discs. Now the anime used to be 2D, like a mix of hand-drawn and Flash, but I mostly just thought that the Flash animation was cringy looking, you know, with the movements and all that being all weird and stuff. But yeah, I'm just glad they fixed it up with the CGI animation. It may not be the same anymore, and I do miss the hand-drawn Japanese style that they used in a few scenes, and mostly like the first opening of the series. All the openings go hard regardless, especially the ones in Chinese, because we only got like one localized in English, which is just your typical toy English anime localization. But the CGI, even if it has issues, it's still more consistent than the 2D animation that was mostly mid, because most of it was just Flash animation and poorly drawn scenes and all that stuff. The first way you can launch your Screecher is pretty traditional. You just put it in front, the disc, and then let your Screecher move forward, just like that. You can also shoot them, which is basically the newer way. All you have to do, for Galar anyways, you have to set the lever like this. Make sure that goes far back, and then just put that. Here's Hell's Storm in action. Now we're doing Sonic Blade. And there you have it. Now that we have them fully opened, yeah, Galar's basically just a Gundam with the eagle motif on it or something, but it's pretty sick. On the box art and in the anime, as you saw, it's a lot more detailed and everything, but you know, I'm sure a little bit of custom painting and all that stuff can make it pop out more. But at least they have stickers to include it. I didn't add all the stickers, but you know, a little bit just to make it pop works for me. This is Damo's Sonic Blade. It's basically a mantis. Looks pretty cool. I think this one is actually kind of my most favorite out of the three in this lineup. This is Hell's Storm. It's basically a tiger, Gundam-ish warrior bot. I don't know. Yeah, you basically just reset them like that. Yeah. If you're looking for something fun and new to try out, I suggest picking these up, you know? A change in pace and taste from the usual toys, like Bakugan and all that stuff. I really hated what Spin Master did in 2023 when they made the Baku Blades, those horrible cheap plastic Bakugans that are just trying to be Beyblades and everything, just to ride off of X's hype. Hence why they killed Generation 2, the Battle Planet series. But you know, out of spite, since I've been seeing these Screechers toys for years, and the anime, which I didn't really care much for, I guess a little bit until now, I decided to give these a try, out of spite, and you know what? These are a blast. Literally, you can either get the Blast Charge series, which is basically the ones with the blasters, or you can just get the ones without the blasters. Some even include disc launchers too. There's even the Blast Matrix series, which removes the lever completely, but you just launch the Screecher with the button and the trigger still. No reset, you just gotta reset it with your hand, kind of like Galar. Again, that's probably just to avoid quality issues or breakage and all that. But yeah, other than that, I hope this helped out a lot for people who were wondering about this toy line and everything. Take care, guys.